another edition of 52 New, and we are back at Lake Okanagan Resort. Now, why are we back for a second week? Because this is the place I come when I need to know about cooking stuff. A friend of mine is the executive chef and resort manager, Edan. I'm a very lucky girl. And we had a special request from Jessica Samuels from AM 1150, who apparently screws up gravy every single year at Thanksgiving and Christmas. So she wanted to know how to make the perfect gravy that you're not going to mess up. And I turned to the expert, Edan.
Hello?
Expert, Edan. Okay, so gravy seems to turn people into like panicking crazy.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It's actually it's a very simple sauce, and it is a sauce.
It is a sauce.
It is a sauce. Yes.
What else would it be?
It's a gravy.
I never thought of it as anything else other than a sauce.
Yeah, it's a sauce, and it's very simple to thicken. You just have to. There's two main ways that we can thicken it. One, we're going to thicken with a slurry, which is 50% water, 50% flour,
and 10% booze.
No booze.
It's a slurry. It sounds like it should be a drink.
Yeah.
I'm still here from last week's 52 New. Okay.
So yeah, so I have the stock on. I made a stock yesterday.
Okay.
Stock is key.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So what I've done is strain the stock.
And this is the slurry.
No, this is the stock.
This is the stock.
Yeah.
Are we doing the stock first or the slurry first?
The slurry's right here. Like I said, it's equal parts water to flour.
Isn't that a roux?
It's a very basic roux, but roux is fat.
Roux is also a little kangaroo.
Yeah.
It's the Winnie the Pooh, I think. Okay, so
there's no fat in the slurry. A slurry is water and flour.
Okay.
A roux is always fat and flour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's the difference. And this is a quick one. I would stay away from cornstarch to thicken anything. I just don't like the sheen it brings to things. It just makes it look kind of fake and store-bought.
Unless, of course, you need a gluten-free one.
Exactly.
And then you're okay.
Gluten-free, go with cornstarch.
Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to do.
Where do people go wrong the most?
I think people go wrong in the fact that you have to make sure that when you're thickening anything, you add cold thickeners to hot liquids. And you had
So is this cold flour to warm water?
This is a cold thickener. Because our stock is hot.
Oh, I see. So this is all cold and it's going into something that's hot.
It's going into hot. When you're thickening hot, you use cold.
When you're thickening cold, you use hot?
Yes.
Okay.
Because what we're going to do next is we're going to use the fat and the flour to make a roux and then add the cold stock to the hot.
Okay, but this is, this is not the slurry, this is the other one.
No, this is the stock, this is the slurry.
This is the slurry?
Yeah, this is the slurry.
So this is slurry. Do I get to shake that?
I'm just trying to get the lid on tight enough so none of us get any shrapnel.
You've seen me shake things after last week. I look like a muppet.
Usually when I'm at home I use a jar.
Okay, like a mason jar, and you
like
put it all in,
jar, yeah.
squish it up tight.
Let me grab it. I'm just trying to get all the lumps out of it. If you dump lumps into it, you're going to have lumps.
Oh, so that's good to know, because people complain about lumpy gravy.
Yeah.
So if you start with lumps, you end up with lumps, there's nothing you can do to get rid of the lumps.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you see the slurry, it's pretty much mixed. It's nice and liquid-like.
Slurry-fied?
So we're just going to take the lid off, but what I usually do to even take away all the lumps is use a little strainer.
Okay.
Put it in. If you want to start whisking, I'm going to turn this up so it starts to boil.
Do you have to whisk fast or slow?
No, just whisk so you're just incorporating the slurry.
So now if this was actually at Christmas or at Thanksgiving, I would be whisking, pouring this in at the same time as saying, somebody get me a glass of wine! Where are the children? Has anyone seen the bird? Is that dog got the chicken? Yeah, okay. Whisk, whisk, whisk.
All right, so it lightens it up, and when it comes to boil, what's going to happen is the stock is going to bloom the flour, and by blooming, I mean it's absorbing the liquid.
Okay.
And that's why it's thickening.
Do I keep stirring?
Yeah.
Okay, or whisking?
Whisking.
Now this is interesting because last week I learned the word macerated from you.
Yes.
This week I've now learned slurry and bloom.
Bloom, yeah.
So bloom again is when the flour is absorbing the liquid.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you're thickening anything with flour and water or flour and fat.
Okay.
So that's basically the gravy.
So I can stop now?
Yeah.
Okay, no, wait.
It'll thicken more see how it boils around the edge? It's nice and thick. There's no lumps at all.
Okay.
And at this point, this is when you want to taste it, and if you have to add salt or pepper, or sometimes add poultry seasoning.
Okay.
Which is a mix of thyme, marjoram, rosemary, black pepper, and nutmeg.
It's remarkably easy.
It is easy. You just gotta do it and not worry about it. Like I said, the strainer is huge, and if you don't have a strainer, you can even pour this through your colander for your pasta.
Okay.
Because it'll just all the liquid will run
Yeah,
through,
okay.
and if you have lumps in it, it'll take them right out, and you're good to go.
Okay, look at that camera and say, Jessica, just do it.
Jessica, just do it. It's easy. Don't be afraid of the gravy.
This is the one everyone's really impressed with if they happen to be wandering by the kitchen while you're getting the dinner out.
And this one will
stuff.
have a lot more flavor because you're actually using turkey fat
Okay.
and flour,
Okay.
and it's just more flavor on top of flavor, right? And again, with the roux that we're gonna make, we're gonna use, I save the drippings,
And it's a roux because there's fat involved.
fat and flour.
Fat and flour.
50-50, always by weight.
Okay, can you give us any tips? Now this, we were saying, came out of the bottom of a turkey pan, right?
Yeah.
How do we get it out of the bottom of the turkey pan?
I usually take my turkey out of the roaster, put it on a plate,
Okay.
cover it with tin foil for 10-15 minutes before I carve it, because then all the juices absorb back into the meat, and when you start carving it, you're not losing everything all over the place.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, just basically, you can even make your gravy in your pan.
So, now so you take the big pan and you plunk it down
Yeah.
over two of the things and,
Put them
and
on,
away you go.
put them on low medium, and once the fat starts to bubble, then you sprinkle your flour over top and make your roux. So let's just
Okay, so
pretend.
let's pour that in and pretend that's what's happening.
So that's
there.
turkey fat. So like I said, 50-50. This is 50% flour, 50% fat.
Okay.
Start stirring it up. Let's turn this down a bit so we don't burn it. See how it absorbs all the flour?
Yeah.
And the longer you cook a roux and the darker you cook a roux, the more nutty flavor you're going to get out of it.
Ah, where do the nuts come from?
Well, you're toasting the flour.
Oh, so we're not blooming the flour, we're toasting the flour.
We're toasting the flour right now, and we're just putting the two ingredients together that are gonna thicken.
That makes it nutty.
Yeah.
That's nutty.
So yeah, the darker you want your gravy, the longer you can cook your roux. You just gotta be careful, do it low and slow.
Okay.
When it starts to turn light brown, that's when you're good to go. We're gonna start now though.
Okay.
Because that's all, once it's all incorporated and pulling away from the bottom, you can start adding your stock.
Ah, so you don't worry about lumps for this one.
Not at all.
Okay.
Okay, so when we start this one, you're gonna pour,
I'm gonna pour.
and I'm gonna stir.
What am I putting in?
This is turkey stock, it's cold.
So is this what came out of the bottom of the pan?
That's good, that's good.
Stop.
So you wanna start by just adding
No,
a little.
wait, this is where I'm confused.
That's stock,
This is pre-made stock.
pre-made stock.
Okay, that's good to go.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you're gonna add about a cup,
Okay.
and you're gonna whisk it up until it starts to thicken really good. And what it's doing, now you're blooming the flour.
Ah, okay.
It's absorbing the liquid.
So first we toast it, then we bloom it.
This part is critical though, because if you add a little bit of stock and you see how it's thickening right up,
Yeah.
you're not gonna have any lumps because you're smoothing it all out before you add the rest of the stock.
Gotcha.
Okay, you
Oh,
can
this
add-
is like making hot cocoa.
Yeah, sort of.
Well, yeah, because you add just a little bit of water
Yeah.
to the sugar and the cocoa,
About half of that in there.
and then, is that half of it?
Yeah, so then
Okay.
you wanna slowly incorporate it again.
And then you mix it all in, and then it makes it easier to stir when you do the rest of it.
Exactly. So see how it's lumpy?
Yeah.
As you're whisking it, you're gonna smooth it out again before you add any more stock.
Okay.
It's the secret.
Needs to be made at the, or I guess you can make gravy while your turkey's sitting, because you're supposed to let your turkey sit, you said,
Yeah,
for
of course.
15, 20 minutes, and that's when you make your turkey.
Get it to this stage. When it starts to bubble, turn it down to low and just let it sit on the back of the stove.
It smells great too.
Yeah, it's good. And again with this one, once it thickens up and everything's incorporated, you're gonna wanna season it to taste.
Same thing using
Salt,
poultry
pepper,
and
poultry
poultry spice
seasoning, yeah,
seasoning.
yeah.
And you can buy something that says poultry seasoning
Yeah,
on it.
right here. Like I said, it's sage, marjoram, rosemary, nutmeg, and pepper.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's all made up for you. It's what you rub your turkey down with.
Oh,
And like I said, if you get held up on this one
yeah.
and you didn't whisk it enough and you have lumps in it, just go back to the little strainer and pour it through the strainer when you put it in the little gravy boat, and you won't have
And then nobody will know
and
anyways.
nobody knows anyways.
Nice. High five. Thank you for your help
Merry
once
Christmas.
again. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. There you go, Ms. Jessica Samuels. I hope that worked out for you. As requested on 52 New, how to make lumpless, fabulous gravy. I hope that works for the holidays. You know, if you ever have any suggestions for 52 New, something I need to learn, feel free to drop me a line. It's easy to do. Susan Knight at astral.com. Susan Knight at astral.com. I would love to hear from you, and hopefully I can incorporate it into a future 52 New. Have a very Merry Christmas.